I have very grave concerns about the safety of the public and especially the safety of our police in policing in this area. And I think that this use is incompatible with the surrounding neighborhood as defined in the regulations. Many people have heard recently about the gunfire on Craftsman Court, but I want to highlight some instances taking place in the entertainment district which probably haven't gotten the same publicity. And all of these instances, I believe, took place within a very short distance from the proposed store. I'm going to list only incidents involving violence and firearms. And even with that limitation, it's a pretty long list. On February 4th of this year, everything is this year, 2 men were beaten unconscious outside of the Pretty Please lounge, which is literally across the street from the proposed location. The following evening, February 5th, there was a verbal altercation at the Paris nightclub, and between 2 females, one of them produced a gun and pointed it at the other. On April 29th, there was a case of reckless driving, extreme drunkenness, and 6 illegal guns were seized from the car. On the next instance, May 1st, I don't have the exact location of this one, I'm sorry, but I'm sure it was in the same area. A driver failed to admit to a firearm in the vehicle and then failed to admit to a second illegal firearm in the vehicle. So that night there were 2 illegal guns seized. The following night, May 2nd, there was a physical altercation on Saddlebag outside of the El Jefe nightclub, and the prior offender was suspected of dropping a stolen firearm. On May 8th, there was an armed robbery in the vicinity, and the perpetrator ran from the scene, hid his firearm. He assaulted officers, resisted arrest, and the second offender with him failed to obey the police and was also arrested. On May 17th, there was a fight outside of the Pretty Please nightclub. One of the offenders ran from the scene, and a gun magazine fell from his waistband. And this person was a prohibited possessor, which I assume means he was legally prohibited from carrying the firearm that he was possessing. June 5th, an off-duty officer working at the International nightclub tried to stop a fight outside the nightclub. The primary offender fled and resisted arrest. Other offenders attempted to intervene and free the primary offender from police custody. On June 19th, there was an altercation between 2 females and several males leaving the International nightclub. A male stole a phone from one of the females and assaulted the other by punching her in the face. The other female retrieved a handgun from her vehicle and fired 2 rounds toward the males. On June 24th, just a few days later, there was a discharge of a firearm with multiple rounds outside the Casa Amigos. July 4th, there was an aggravated assault outside of the Pretty Please nightclub, which once again I think is directly across the street from the proposed location. On July 5th, the following night, At the closing of the Paris nightclub, officers attempted to intervene and break up a fight. Other members of the group began to assault the officers in an attempt to free the detained person. 5 offenders were arrested. Firearms were located in the vehicles, but no arrests were made because I presume the weapons were legal. July 5th, the same night, there were shots fired in the area of 7350 East 6th Avenue. There were 12 shell casings from 9mm and .40 caliber guns found there. July 11th, a suspect was observed walking on Camelback, flashing a handgun outside of the south curb of the Pretty Please nightclub. That person was involved in a physical alteration, and he produced a handgun and brandished it at the other persons involved in the fight. July 12th, a 390 driver. I'm not sure what that means. I assume it's probably a drunken driver. Actually, I'm sorry, that one's a Craftsman Court incident, and so I'm not